Well, hello everybody, and welcome back to my little airplane hangar. And today I'm going to give just a quick update on what's in here and talk about the little adventure I had with trying to get a servo replaced on one of these airplanes. It was quite the ordeal, but it all turned out well. So down here in the hangar today, we've got 3 sailplanes. Hobby King Walrus, E-Flite Night Radian, and back there in the corner is my wonderful little Conchindo. Up here up front, we've got a turbo timber that I've had for over a year, the Cherokee that's about 2 years old. It's still around, despite a couple of little minor mishaps. The Mall that I won in last year's Flying Club drawing. Great little airplane. Fairly new Habu Super Sport, or SS, that I bought this year. And then back here we've got up front this Commander that, believe it or not, I won at the Flying Club drawing at the Christmas party just a couple of days ago. The Cessna 150 that you've seen before, and then back here in the back is the new SIG 4-star 64 that hasn't flown yet. The Commander hasn't either. And then down underneath the table, we have a brand new E-Flite Twin 40 EDF that I haven't flown yet, and my little Vapor that I have flown but not recently, that I bought for $20 off the Flying Club for sale bench. So around here, we got sitting back in the corner behind a bunch of stuff, my little DJI SE, Mini SE. And that's an update on the hangar, but really the purpose of this video is to talk about what it took to get a wing servo replaced on this airplane with its plug-in flap and aileron servos on this side of the airplane. Before we actually start to look at the wing servo, I want to show you a couple of things about this Commander that I really, really like. If we look down in here, note how clean this layout is in here, that the all of the cables are well positioned and hidden as much as possible. That's made possible by the fact that the wing servos are connected down here, so we don't have servo leads coming out of the side of the fuselage for the wing and flaps. The rudder and elevator servos wires are underneath them. The only thing we really have here is a ESC line, but it's taped down to the side of the fuselage, and it's not real apparent. But if you take a close look at those mounts for the battery, the Velcro straps, these are buckled, which is really, really, really nice. If you're listening to this, Horizon, let's make all of our battery straps look like this. Instead of simple fold over, put a buckle on the end. In fact, you can probably buy something like this at, say, I don't know, Joann's or somewhere, and make your own, but this is really nice. That battery fits in there and buckles on the top, and in fact, I'll put a battery in right now and show you what it looks like. So here's a 3204S buckled in there, and that is incredibly nice compared to the way Horizon has done this in the past. It takes just a few seconds, the straps stay out of the way, and you can fasten it down really tight. It's also got Velcro on the bottom, so that battery is not going anywhere. I just absolutely love this, Horizon. Please do this with everything in the future. This is just incredible. Really, really, really nice. Let's talk about what it actually took to get this servo replaced. When I started this model up first time, that servo, aileron servo, was chattering. And that's not good. That means there's something on the electronics or the gearings or whatever that is preventing that servo from moving easily and centering up where it wants to. So I said, okay, what are my options here? What can I do to get this fixed? So I tried first to contact Horizon Hobby. They have a chat line. Never could get connected. Pretty busy time of the year for them, Christmas presents and whatever, and people doing wintertime projects and who knows what, but I could not get them to connect me to Christopher, who over there, who is, I talk to him most of the time when I get on chat. But anyway, okay, so I tried that for an hour or two, and that wasn't working. So I was like, well, let me think about this. I can try this myself, or this model came from Hobbytown, which is about 7 miles away, over on the other side of 465, not 465, it's over by 465 and Highway 69. And so I said, well, why don't we take this over and talk to Dan about it. Now, Dan's been there at Hobbytown forever, as far as I can tell, and he knows a lot more about this sort of thing than I do, obviously. He's been there a while. And I had actually tried this once before on my Cherokee over there. I've got, let's see, how many models have I got with these plugins now? I've got the Commander, the Cessna 150, the Cherokee, none of my gliders, and I think the Mall has it as well as my little Habu, my new Habu Jet, sort of has the same thing. In fact, it does. Actually, the connectors, instead of being in the wing roots, are actually, there's a plate that fits on the bottom of that fuselage, and that's where those connections are. But it's the same problem with the Habu. Those darn things go through tubes to get out to the ailerons. Now this one's got 2 servos in the wing, one for flaps and one for ailerons. So I said, to get over there and said, Dan, how do we fix this? And he said, well, I think I know how to do that, because I've done it before on other Horizon models. So to take this thing apart is very simple. You have 2 screws here that hold this little plate on, and that's what holds the servo in the wing. On the other end, we've got these plugs that are mounted to this little plastic mount. It also has 2 screws. You take those 2 screws out, the plastic mount pulls apart, and you can take these male ends of these servo leads out by just loosening up a set screw, and they pull right out. So what we did was we took the mount off, took the servo plate here off, pulled the servo out, and tested it. And sure enough, Dan hooked up his tester, boom, just shaking like crazy. He said, yep, it's bad. You are right, sir. So here's what we're going to do. We will take your bad servo and I will send it back to Horizon, get credit for it, and we'll see what we can do about putting a new one in. And he happened to have 3 of them in stock, so he pulled one off the shelf and brought it over and said, okay, here's your new one, let's get it installed. I went, well, how are you going to do that? I said, well, it's not easy and it's not intuitive, but I know how to do it. So first thing we found out was we needed an extension. The servo that he had in stock had a lead that was about almost this much too short to fit through the tube that's inside this wing. And you stop and think about it, well, you know, they built this thing at a factory in China, and that tube was in there, but the servo wasn't, so there must be a way to pull the servo lead through here and out to this connector, this bus out here, and hook it all up. Yeah, well, probably is. So, first thing we did was take the servo, pull it this way, and the lead came right out. Okay, now what? Well, we hooked up the extension to the replacement servo lead, and the first thought was to take a wire like this. This is actually a coat hanger wire. He had piano wire, but the important thing is this little hook on the end here. And we tried to thread that through the wing, and it got to about maybe right here, and that's as far as it would go. That's not good. It needs to go all the way out to there. Because the plan was take it out here, hook up the servo lead, pull it back through, and then hook it up over here. Well, okay, that's not going to work. So we took it, reversed it, the wire, and it fed right through. Came out down here at the wing root. Okay, well, we can't pull the servo through there. That's not going to work. So Dan he had some kite string, took a piece of kite string, tied it around here, pulled the kite string back through. If you're an electrician, happen to be that business, you're very familiar with this process probably. Pull the kite string through, and then we tied the kite string around the male end of the servo, and we tied it so it looped around here, around the actual male end. We didn't want it, if we had just tied it up like here, tried to pull it through, this would have been all wonky. So to get it pulled straight through, we just tied it there. And then we took some thin tape and wrapped it around this to make sure that when we pulled it back through, it would go pull through straight, just like this. And that worked. I was afraid that this big end, the female end, was going to be a problem, but no, it had to be designed that way, I guess. Well, it didn't have to be, but it was designed so that we could pull the lead through, and I had about that much left over. There is a pocket in here where you can stuff extra wire in, not a problem. We hooked it all up and tested the servo before I left with Dan's servo tester. It was working fine. So I brought it home, put the 2 screws back in here, put the servo in here. Just had to stuff maybe 2 or 3 inches of extra lead back into the wing. That worked out fine with a pair of tweezers. Hooked it up. I had to have the servo out to do this because there's no way to install that horn while the servo is inside the wing. So I pulled it up, got the horn on, centered it up as best I could, put it back in the wing, had to actually take it out again because I didn't quite get it right. And I wanted that horn to be vertical, at right angles to the wing. So then I hooked up this nice little control rod here with its ball joint ends, and I had to take a couple of turns to get just the right adjustment. When I got done, it took about maybe 15 minutes to get all that done, and now it's replaced. So learn 2 things. 1, go to Dan when I have problems, and 2, don't give up, because if you don't know, you don't know. So seek out some expertise if you have problems that you don't see an immediate solution to. Duh. And really happy now. What I hope to do in the next couple of weeks is to find a really nice day to get out to my flying field and get this thing actually flown. I think it's going to be a great model. It is really, really put together well, especially that battery tray. Oh man, I hope Horizon really finds out just how good that is from some other customers of theirs, because I am tired of fiddling around with those Velcro straps trying to get them to tighten up. But having those buckle ends, oh my gosh. I may try to see if I can go over to a fabric store or something, find some of those little buckles like is on that Commander, and modify all of my straps to do that. So anyway, thanks for watching. If you like this, push the like button. If you find this interesting, I have some more opportunities coming up to make some more videos. Hit the subscribe button. The only time you'll ever get any feedback is if well, you leave a comment. I'll reply to it, and if you subscribe, you'll get an email to notify you that I've posted a new video. Don't know exactly what. Oh, the next one I'm going to do is I'm actually working on a neighbor's Phantom 3, DJI Phantom 3, to try to get it back in the air. It needs a few simple repairs and a new battery. We might get that done over the holidays. We'll see. Anyway, Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, and thanks for watching.